Shalom, shalom. We are the men of the Great Millstone, coming to you in the name of YAHAWASHI. So we give all praise, glory, and honor unto YAHAWASHI, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Right? To our scattered brethren that are scattered among the heathen, that are like unto the speckled bird, creating their confusion. To them we say shalom. Alright, to the few akwaf that are listening and learning. Because you know there's some people out there that think that we hate every Israelite woman that's of the tribe of Judah. And you never heard that come out of anybody's mouth. That is not true. We just hate the 2/3, right? Which happen to be the majority, and the 2/3, the majority women outnumber men, right? Women are the majority of Israel, all right? So that's what. But anyway, what we're going to talk about today is YAHAWASHI, who is Isaac. Isaac was YAHAWASHI, all right? So this is Shalom.
I got one for you.
Go ahead, brother.
It's Matthew 1:1. The book of the generation of YAHAWASHI, Hamashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Who's the son of Abraham? Isaac. You know, that's who the promise is in. The promise is in Isaac. But who is the promise by? YAHAWASHI, because YAHAWASHI is Isaac.
That's right. That's right. This is Genesis 22, and I'm gonna start at verse 3. And it reads, and Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son and clave the wood for the burnt offering and rose up and went unto the place of which Power had told him. Now, you know, I just thought it, you know, it's not ironic, but he brought wood with him. And what was used to sacrifice when our Savior, when our King was sacrificed? It was wood. It was a wooden cross, man. All right, made wood that come from a tree. All right. It says, then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young man, abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood, the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire of his hand and the knife, and they both went of them together. Somebody get John 19:17. Bible shot.
I was going to bring this out later on when you made the point. I got it in Hebrews 7:27. That's it.
Come.
St. John chapter 19, verse 17. It says, and he bearing his cross went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha.
Right. So the point is that Isaac was set. This was all symbolic. That Isaac would eventually, in the future, be sacrificed. All right, and he was sacrificed as what? As YAHAWASHI. When he came back, that's why he read the most important scripture in the whole lesson out the gate. It was Matthew 1:1. It gives you the breakdown that he was the son of Isaac, the son of Abraham, the son of David. Okay.
I hit one for sacrifice.
Absolutely.
This is Hebrews 10:8. Above, when he says sacrifice and offering and burnt offerings and offering for sin, thou wouldest not. Neither has pleasure therein which are offered by the law. Then said he, lo, I come to do thy will, O power. He taketh away the first, that he may establish the second, by the which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of YAHAWASHI once for all. You know, so YAHAWASHI was that offering. Like he set up Isaac the water, foreshadow things to come, the water, a shadow of things to come, and he fulfilled it as YAHAWASHI. He was that burnt offering, like the elder just read. Isaac was the example. He fulfilled it as YAHAWASHI.
I'm going to read something for you real quick, Baba Kushar. This is the book of Matthew 16:21. It says, from that time forth, YAHAWASHI to show unto his disciples how that he must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and raised again the 3rd day. Right? So that shows you that YAHAWASHI was actually atoning, but to be set up to take away sin for the elect first and foremost in the whole nation of Israel.
And he said on the third day, when you go back up to 4 already, it said, then on the third day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place far off. What? He saw the place of sacrifice on the third day. All right, so everything was just playing itself out, man. The Lord, like he said, the Lord was giving you a precursor, a preview. You know, how you see a preview in a movie, or what do they call it when they make a movie trailer? To give you a roundabout idea what the movie's about. All right, the Lord, and this is the Lord's movie, man. And then the Lord often tells you things multiple times over and over again, man. All right, but back to anything you got, Shakar, you just let it ride, bro. This is what was that? I was at verse 7. Oh yeah, verse 6, and it says Genesis 22:6, and it says Abraham took the wood and the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, my father, and he said, here I am, my son. And he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for the burnt offering? He like, wait a minute, what's going on here? All right.
Right.
So he wasn't stupid. He's like, well, we got an offering, but where's the, you know? All right. And then and Abraham said, my son, power will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they both of them together. All right. So, and he did provide, because you speed it up to the future. Like he said, Yahawashi's body was made an offering to buy us back, to bring us back, man.
That's why.
So,
I want to say that's why the Spirit, before they had to anoint him, they had to go through the whole ceremony and everything to anoint the Lord, because according to our customs, the sacrifice you have to do like an anointing. You know, and that's why when basically you had the woman with the alabaster box, she was basically anointing the Lord.
yeah.
You know?
He went through everything that a newborn would go through. He got circumcised on the 8th day. All that. He did it. He got circumcised as Isaac. He got circumcised as Yahawashi.
I got something.
Go ahead, brother.
It's Hebrews chapter 2, verse 16. For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people, for in that he himself have suffered being tempted, he is able to secure them that are tempted.
Wow.
And that's the reason why, if you think about it, like during the time of the Passover, you had to find a lamb unblemished. Yahawashi was ultimately sinless as Yahawashi, because in order for him to atone for the nation of Israel, he had to be completely without sin. You know, that's why he was unblemished. You know, and Baba Kusha, if I can bring this precept out, y'all brothers don't mind. This is John 1:29. It says here, the next day John seen Yahawashi coming into him and said, behold, the Lamb of the Most High, which taketh away the sin of the world. Which Yahawashi was that sacrificial lamb. That was his whole purpose, to come into the world and be a sacrifice for our sins, man. So therefore we can get the kingdom of heaven. Therefore what we're doing now wouldn't have to be in vain, because if Yahawashi never took up that mantle, what we'd be doing is pointless, you know?
That's right. It goes to show you how much he loved us. All right. He wanted his first fruits to share the kingdom with him, and basically he made the ultimate sacrifice of himself so that could happen. All right.
Read that verse you read over.
Yes, verse 8. Genesis 22:8, and it reads, and Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together.
This is Isaiah 53:10. Yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him, he hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his head. So it said what? The Lord, in Genesis said the Lord provided that sacrifice. Who did he provide? He set up Isaac. But he didn't fulfill it then. Right here it said the Lord used Yahawashi, and he made his offering, his soul an offering for sin.
But in a roundabout way, he did use Isaac. But see, that goes above your head.
Yep.
All right, a lot of people's head, man, and that's why we out here to try to break it down to the elect, the hopefully elect, so that they will understand, man. All right, because through that seed line, Isaac came back as Yahawashi. It's like he came back as Solomon first, and then he came back as Yahawashi later, man, in that royal seed line. And in Matthew, it gives you the sperm line, you know, from Abraham all the way to Joseph, to Yahawashi. Okay?
All right, this is the book of Hebrews 7, and I'm going to start at verses 24. It says, but this man, because he continued forever, have an unchangeable priesthood. Because we understand the whole world was under priesthood, was to go and atone before Israel sins, all right? But it says here, wherefore he is able also to save them to the uttermost that have come into the Most High by him, seeing he liveth ever to make intercession for them. For such a high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate, and sinners who are made higher than the heavens, who needed not the daily as those high priests to offer up sacrifice before his own sins, and then for the people's. But then he this once when he offered up himself.
And that's in the New Testament. That's a read. Matter of fact, call it and read it again, man. Let them hear it.
Yep,
because he just read and proved to you through the scriptures that Yahawashi was unblemished. So then why? And that this lesson is so deep because it's proven reincarnation, it's proven regeneration. All right, because you know he was an unblemished lamb. You know, just like when you go back to when who I'm trying to think of, who was that went to prepare the meat for the it was either Abraham or Lot that went to go prepare a lamb for the two angels that came, for the two men that came, and he went and found one that was of a year old, that was unblemished, that was clean, that was perfect.
Right? So it had to be young and it had to be perfect. Yahawashi, because that goes to the wisdom of Solomon. It said being made perfect in his youth before he got corrupted, he was taken from the earth. So he was young and without blemish. He was just 33. That's still young.
Especially, you know, back then, people were more vibrant and lived longer. So 33 was really young. You know, it's young today, but it was really young back then because we didn't age the same back then like we do now. All right? Sure, a 50-year-old man in the ancient world probably looked like a 20-year-old dude now. Because one that your military service was all the way up to 50. So that means that 50-year-old men were out there running and doing the same things that the 20-year-old men were doing. All right, like, so they were vibrant, man.
Josh was up in age. And he said he still had his same strength. Caleb, they had their same strength from when they was young all the way up to they was old. They still had their figure. This was after roaming in the wilderness for 40 years, getting the land and establishing the land with Joshua. He said, I still have my same strength.
Because the foods and everything was different then. The air wasn't as polluted. The water was actually had purities in it, you know. They actually ate the herbs, and it wasn't eating McDonald's back in the ancient world. Wasn't no such thing, you know.
Getting bombarded with all these chemicals, and then your food wasn't deprived of all the elements that's supposed to be in them. The vitamin D, the C, the zinc, the iron, everything was proper, so your body was at its peak, you know.
You want me to run that back?
Yeah.
Yep, this is the book of Hebrews 7, and I'm going to start at verses 25. It says, wherefore he is able to save them to the utmost that have come into the Most High by him, seeing he liveth to make intercession for them. For such a high priest became us, who is holy, harmless, undefiled, separate from sinners, and made higher than the heavens, who needed not daily, as those high priests, to offer up sacrifice, first for his own sins, and then for the people's. For this he did once he offered up himself.
Right, so there you go, man. So that proves that Yahawashi died first for his own sins. And so how raw is a power to create yourself, to bring yourself back, and then die for your own sins in the past, to cleanse yourself and to cleanse your brethren. Man, the Lord is raw, man.
Hey, because in case you missed it, right there it said he did this once, first for his own sins, then for the people. So Yahawashi, he didn't sin as Yahawashi, which means he was here before. All right, that's reincarnation right there, like the elder was just saying, man. Yahawashi was here before, which he was, man. Adam, Isaac, Solomon. You have to correct those wrongs, man.
Because then Solomon, he died without even being afflicted. You know, he died, above the men, though he went over to the other nations' philosophy, but he came back and paid for it as Yahawashi. That's why when you go into the book of Ecclesiastes, it tell you that judgment is done under the sun, which you come back and you play out your judgment that the Lord give you in the spiritual realm, man.
You know? Right, because there is no record of him. Hey, Shalom, Mark. There's no record of him. Of Solomon being chastised or losing the kingdom or any of that. All right, he died an old man. Okay, he lived out his life and died. And so he paid for his sins right there in the book of Hebrews. That's when it happened. Okay. Come on, go ahead, brother.
This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 15. Thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction. That almighty word is YAHAWASHI, man. They tell you that, what's that, St. John, the first chapter, 14th verse, man. Alright, the word lived amongst us, man. Alright, and he walks amongst us, man. This we out here glorified, man, YAHAWASHI, man. Period, man. Alright? Through him we have life. He is the way, man. He is the truth. Alright? And he's coming back to save his people, alright? And to raise up his kingdom on earth, man.
And he's gonna wreck this place to do that, man. That's right. You know how Esau made that video game, the God of War? The real God of War is coming, man. And he gonna do major damage. But let me read verse 9. It says, and they came to the place which God had told of him, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid wood in the order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. So he got laid upon wood, just like when they laid him out and nailed him to that cross, man. Shalom, man. They laid him out on that wood once again. YAHAWASHI my shepherd at the top, man. Yeah, so it happened before. Shalom. Yeah, man. Verse 10. And Abraham stretched forth his hands and took a knife to slay his son. Verse 11. And the angel of Yahweh called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest Yahweh, thou fearest power, seeing that thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son from me. All right, so as a result of that, man, Abraham got exalted. He became that exalted father, man. All right, and the Lord fulfilled his promise unto Abraham, man. All right, and that's why these Amalekites are running around the earth trying to say that they're the seed of Abraham, which they are. They are. When they say that, they're not lying. But what they are not is they're not the seed of Jacob. They're the seed of Esau, Jacob's brother. All right. Okay, but basically, in a nutshell, that's just go to show you too that Isaac was indeed YAHAWASHI. And also the faith of Abraham, man, because he waited all his life and had no seed. Then he got Ishmael. All right, he was still old when he got Ishmael, and then even older when he got Isaac, man. And Ishmael had been cast away. So here he is with his only son. All right, and then the Lord said, okay, now go put him to death. But Abraham had that faith that, well, he I don't know what was going through his head. What was going through his head was that somehow the Lord is gonna do something. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I know the Lord is gonna eventually, he's gonna bring my son back. But he followed orders, man.
I got it.
Right?
I got you right here. I was looking for a spirit, man, right on time.
Go ahead, brother.
This Hebrews 11.
That's what I was holding.
That's a spirit. I'll read it for you. This Hebrews 11 and 17. You can break it down. It's Hebrews 11 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac. And he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Accounting that the Most High was able, this is what he was thinking right here, accounting that the Most High was able to raise him up, even from the dead, from whence also he received him in the figure. So hey, Abraham, he perceived that, look, the Lord will raise Isaac up from the dead. All right, he believed that the Lord raised Isaac up from the dead, and that's what happened. The Lord eventually, I'll read that over for you.
Go ahead, brother.
Accounting, verse 19, accounting that the Most High was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in the figure. All right, so that let you know that Abraham had faith in the Lord, that he made this promise that if he had me sacrifice Isaac, he believed that the Lord would raise Isaac back up. And that's exactly how it played out for YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI was sacrificed and raised back up. So what Abraham believed is what happened. He brought him back up.
It's the same belief we have today, man. That's why we laying our life down now, man.
Con.
That's not what
That was 11 and 19.
Started at 17.
Why you present our body as a living sacrifice, man?
That's right. That's right.
We're not gonna lose anything. The Lord's gonna prepare for us, man. Everything's prepared for us already.
That's right. That's right. You got one real quick, and we're gonna close it out.
This is Revelation chapter 5, verse 6. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the four beasts, in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, where are the 7 spirits of the Most High sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints.
Yeah, because during that time, it wasn't originally set up for him to make that sacrifice, man, for the nation, man. No, the nation wasn't created like that yet. But then when the nation came and we sinned and we needed somebody to make intercession for us, then the Lord came down, he died for his sins and ours, so that he'll get the kingdom. And like the elder had said, he wants the first fruits to be there with the kingdom. And all the inheritance of the first fruits, which is going to be the rest of the Israelites coming back. Hey, so with that, we're gonna, you got one more?
Go ahead to the point, yo. This Galatians 3:16. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is YAHAWASHI.
There it is, man.
So Isaac is YAHAWASHI. Plain. That's his seed.
Read it again, brothers. You see how I know.
We was just going into this Bible study.
This Galatians 3:16. Now to Abraham and his seed were the promises made. He saith not unto seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is YAHAWASHI.
Right. So that just proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Isaac is YAHAWASHI. So with that, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, B'kakodash.
Wa abba.